So, we have discussed the basic garden variety transfer instructions and the various formats that they can be encoded and what the capabilities and the reach of each of them is for each of the three slots in which they can appear. And those instructions are call high-level definition, which is done by basically pushing P onto the return stack and putting the destination address into P and going and fetching the first instruction in the subroutine that you're calling. Number two is the conditional branches, if and minus if. Each of them is read as though the condition refers to the immediately following code. Thus, if followed by some code means that if T is non-zero at the time that if is stated, the following code will be executed. The jump therefore takes place when T is 0 in either direction. Likewise, minus if means the following code will be executed if T is negative, therefore the jump will be taken if T is not negative. And finally, the regular unconditional jump, which is a transfer of control unconditionally to a given address. So those are the four types of jump instructions that conform to the format that we have just looked at. The other two jump instructions are the ones that involve use of the return stack in one way or another. Most obvious is semicolon, the classical fourth exit from a subroutine, which is accomplished by popping R into P and continuing on. Now we're continuing on right after the address at which the call was made to this guy. Execute, at least we call it execute, exchanges the register P and the register R. It doesn't actually do any pushing or popping in the return stack per se. From some perspectives, this might be considered a coroutine call, but in practical reality, what we found it most useful for is an execution of a variable subroutine address. In that case, this word call here, if you passed it an address of a destination on the stack, by pushing that address into R and then saying execute, we would call that routine and return right here, at which point we finally return to the person that called call. Obviously, this code snippet can be used in various ways inside of OpenCode as well. But the general thing to remember is these forms. Push semicolon is a jump to a variable address. Push EX is a call to a variable address.